Hey, this is Tobin at Virtual Storefronts, and I want to tell you the story of how this technology pilot started. This is going to be the backstory episode of TMI. If it's too long, it's because it's TMI. There's a lot of information, and I'm not editing anything. I'm telling you the full story, so I hope that you enjoy the story of how Virtual Storefronts came about. So my background is in commercial photography. I worked in Manhattan and Minneapolis for many years, about 8 years in each market. Then I moved to the South and for personal reasons, and the commercial market that I was used to, it was very robust, wasn't there. And I suddenly decided that I was still in photography working as a photographer, but I didn't have the networks that I had in the North. I mean, Minneapolis was great for commercial work because there's so many, there's 3M and Target and Medtronic and Best Buy. It's just kind of like a long list of major General Mills, major corporations are out of Minneapolis. So there was a lot of that type of work. Then I left for personal reasons, came down to the South, and I started working with local businesses around the 2010s to provide content for social media, which was kind of like early. It was early in the years of Facebook, really. Facebook kind of got hold in around 2008. And I figured out that what these local businesses wanted was a lot of content on social media. So I took tons of photos and I put those photos into onto Facebook pages as a way to promote those businesses with high value content. And then I took the same concept and kind of bundled it into Instagram and shared an audience with a bunch of businesses, shared a feed, kind of like what we have today at virtualstorefronts.com. This is the live feed right now nationwide. And it's a lot of these posts are mostly automated posts for every local business that's on it. 3 times a week, each business gets to post onto the nationwide live feed, the local live feed, which is just what's in that market, 5-mile radius from downtown. So if you want to see what's happening just in Andrews or just in Robbinsville or just in Murphy in our pilot area, you can create a shopper account by going here. And then you can follow entire towns and you can follow entire businesses. There's tutorials about how to do that at our YouTube page. So if you want to follow anything about this business, because most of it's video, go to the YouTube page, click on notifications, click on follow, subscribe, notifications at our Virtual Storefronts page on YouTube. Easy to find, just Google Virtual Storefronts YouTube and it will come up. Back to my backstory. So I'm down here and working in this market here in the South, and I figure out that a lot of content is needed that one of the biggest markets for high quality photography was just representing businesses on social media. Then I started selling fine art paintings and worked more specifically in groups on Facebook, et cetera, et cetera. And eventually I just made the jump. I figured out that there was certain things, inefficiencies in working in large platforms like Facebook that were just kind of configuration, not errors, but like they're publishing platforms that their budget's advertising. They need to serve as many advertisements. So, and their metric is how much time you spend watching all of these stuff on these platforms. So their goal is to engage. It's called the attention economy. So their goal is it's like TV basically, keep you on these platforms. And it's not very efficient. And I'm kind of an efficiency guy. And so I was like, well, there's certain things that could be configured better here. But Facebook's not going to do it. Like, for example, if I did the numbers recently, Facebook needs to make about 240, or Meta, the company that runs Facebook, needs to make about $240 million per day to pay their bills. That's their budget, is $240 million a day. So they're not going to change their business model anytime soon. And their business model is basically the same as NBC in 1982, which is get people watching as much TV as possible. Watch as much Facebook as possible. Now, this has created a situation where, for me, I was like, there's a big opportunity here because a lot of people are not being served properly and a lot of time is being kind of wasted away using technology. It could be configured better. And that's in 2019 when I started working at basically building this company, starting with a private network and then moving in 2020 with the everything that was happening regarding COVID. There was always a public storefront feature of this private network. So we just went full in to develop virtual storefronts, which was what we know today, as a method for people to figure out what is at their local businesses. And that's like a big mystery to Google because Google hasn't figured out a way. Google gave everyone the problem, make a website, but they didn't give them the solution to that problem, which is like, Google doesn't make a website for you. It doesn't figure out a way to index everything that's online for you. Google just gives you that problem to solve. So we figured that we could solve that problem by feeding Google keywords that reflect what's inside of these businesses in an opt-in only network. So basically our principle at Virtual Storefronts, and you can learn more if you have a business or are just interested, go to virtualstorefronts.co. So what you can learn there is that if you get listed, you can be found, right? It's about being found in these local searches among all of the corporate SEO optimizations. Search engine optimization is like an entire, $20 billion industry dedicated to gaming results that Walmart and McDonald's and Amazon have spent millions to win at. Virtual Storefronts is simply a collection of local businesses with authentic data that's fed to Google in order to tell Google what it is that's at these local businesses. But back to my work life, I started running this pilot here in Andrews, North Carolina, which is the smallest town I've ever lived in. It's 1,700 people, a charming community. People are not overwhelmed with DoorDash and all of the other, like Yelp and all of the other apps that have bombarded these merchants. So it was a good place to both take time and develop a technology that people were open to and create get feedback on what we were doing to iterate a product that was solving problems for our merchants. So back to my story, my life has been spent pretty much over the past 2 years deeply working in this town. I'm on the Andrews Chamber of Commerce. I work with a lot of different chambers of commerce. I work with economic developers in Robbinsville, Clay County. There are people that I work with on a statewide level, like the North Carolina Leaf Foundation and the North Carolina Main Street program is something that we've exhibited at. We're plugged into economic development in this area, and most of my time has been spent really just one-on-one with people in our pilot. So like I haven't really been plugged into an online networking function for almost 2 years. Obviously, I work with developers to develop our product to make it a product. Our goal really with our merchants is to successfully do local marketing for them for the lowest cost. But our guiding North Star principle is that those merchants don't have any additional work. So every time we develop something, we also had to figure out a way that what we developed did not add a digital chore, which is what the problem of many of these platforms is like they make demands of you without asking. You never asked for a Google listing, you never asked to moderate those results, but Google forced it on you anyway. So like we wanted to avoid that kind of situation, and we wanted to make it just a plug and play 5-minute form to fill out, and then we deliver the product to the merchant, so that the merchant doesn't have to spend extra time being online, doing the work of creating a website, spending thousands of dollars on search and all of these other concerns. We essentially, our insight as a company that Google, one of the richest companies in the world, did not have or is not capable of figuring out is that they've given the merchants the problem, but they haven't given the merchants access to the people who can solve that problem. So we are the people that give you the technology solution, but we don't say, hey, you do it. We actually do it ourselves. And that's a complete, our innovation is making it not someone's job to do, essentially bringing an enterprise level solution that's plug and play for a very low price to the smallest merchants. And that's basically what I've been working on for 2 years straight. And I have not really been, recently I've been on Alignable for the past 3 weeks and kind of more among my peers. And it's been both liberating and kind of eye-opening, because I'm like, wow, I've really just been working in this community one-on-one in person. But we basically have succeeded in our pilot. So over the past 3 months, 130 storefronts, which is about, those storefronts are actually pages hosted at virtualstorefronts.com. We maintain that website so that you don't have to register anything. You don't have to do anything. Those pages that we build, that you just, and publish, that you just approve, have showed up 98,000 times in local search results over the past 3 months. And so which is 600% growth or more since the beginning of the year. So our pilot has been extremely successful. And this live feed, we figured out how to automate it, and added that feature in mid-September. So essentially, we're finally ready to take this nationwide and take all of the knowledge and feedback that we have gotten from our local merchants here in Cherokee County, in the westernmost county of North Carolina, about 2 hours north of Atlanta. We've gotten a lot of feedback from those customers, and we've iterated our product like 3 times to create what we have today, which is a total local marketing solution that includes a website solution that you have somewhere to point anyone who needs to find you online in all of your advertising. It is an SEO solution in the sense that we're feeding Google information that it never had before, and solve that problem for Google. And then the third part of it is now we have a local live feed, so you can follow entire towns on virtual storefronts. So that's that all the time spent here, not being on Alignable, not plugging into the greater world outside of a few in partners and investors, and definitely working with the developers, but not in a direct business sense. Now we are totally open. Now we've opened this to a nationwide audience. We're looking for people like yourself, perhaps, to partner with. And I'll drop the partner link in the bottom of this video to bring this solution to Main Street businesses. It's super cost effective. Comparable solutions like SEMrush and Google AdWords could be like $4,000 or $7,000 a year. And we're, again, $199 per year, including setup. And then what we want to do is get plugged into the national business community and get our message out there now that we have tested our product in different markets in Florida, in Seattle, in Maine, in California, and it works nationwide. It works in Kansas, and it works in Phillipsburg, Kansas. So what we want to do is get it out everywhere now. And that's why that's kind of what we're doing. So that's the backstory of Virtual Storefronts and my work running the pilot here in Andrews, North Carolina, which is a beautiful, lovely place. If you have a chance to visit, there's about 1,000 Airbnb and VRBO houses around here to choose from. Although recently we've had some problems with fire, it seems like it might subside if we get some rain. So in any case, keep watching. I hope that you've enjoyed this episode of Technology Market Insights. And it's my personal background and how I got into technology, because I never expected to be a technology developer. The reason I got into technology development is because I saw so many configuration problems and so many missed opportunities in how technology, commercial technology that is commonly created and displayed and put out into the world is deployed, and that there's simple configurations that and simple business model changes where now we serve our 199 customers. We're not trying to waste anyone's time, and our goal is to get engagement at the register because people find out what's available around them in search. So our goal is not to take your time. Our goal is to get you connected to our customers, the merchants, through search and through live feeds in order for you to go to that business in person and make purchases. And we have evidence on our Virtual Storefronts page on YouTube, which I encourage you to follow. It's easy to find. Just Google YouTube Virtual Storefronts and follow and turn on notifications for all of the next TMIs, technology market insights coming up with me, Tobin. I am the CEO of Virtual Storefronts. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned in because coming up in November, we have, and it'll be posted here, 2 podcast interviews, one with Marketing Counts and Paul Counts, who was instrumental in taking our value proposition and putting it into an online format at virtualstorefronts.co. And then we also have another podcast, which is more introspective, but it's going to be really good, I think, at The Independent Minds, which is Michael out of Yorkshire in England. Now, he did a kind of like short, but very good conversation with him about a lot of these topics. So check that out. And thanks for tuning in, and keep tuning in. Follow us on any major platform. We're pretty much everywhere, and look for links at the bottom for webinars that are coming up. We're going to host webinars. If you want more information about how you can use virtual storefronts at your business, or if you want to offer virtual storefronts to people that you work with or know, we're also going to have a gift program coming up for virtual storefronts where you can buy virtual storefronts as a gift for the holiday season and then give it to any business, but the business will have to accept it before you, give it to them. They need to be. This is an opt-in service. We're not Yelp around here, and we will do a video about Yelp and all Yelp's problems in the very near future. So thanks for tuning in, and I will talk to you next time on TMI with Tobin.